What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikaPikaPaPa, and today we have a video that I feel is just chock full, like oozing with some awesome, insightful, just useful information. And what we're going to be looking at today is we're going to be looking at data straight from TCG Player. This isn't PikaPikaPaPa data or math. This is stuff that TCG Player sends out directly to people like you and me. And what it is this is them saying, hey, listen, these are the top 50 Pokemon cards that are in the highest demand and shortest supply. Now, you might be thinking, hey, that's cool. Why would TCG Player do that? Well, TCG Player makes money by selling cards, right? They need us to list them. They need people to buy them because that's how TCG Player generates their revenue. And I find this stuff incredibly useful. You know, when I did it the first time, we did our first video a couple weeks ago, and I thought, you know, this is cute. This is interesting. I'm going to wait till it comes out a second time because if you're really a data head, the first time you get a data set, you should be skeptical of it, right? We always say data doesn't tell us what to do, it tells us where to look. So the first video was super fun, but I was really holding off on my judgment until I got this second one. It comes out every 2 weeks. And now that I have this and I put it together, like I said, I'm gonna keep using this. It's not about me, it's about you guys. I rarely ask for very specific comments, but if you all find this useful, if you think this is fun, I will do this every 2 weeks. I think the more times we get this information, the more I'm able to data warehouses, the more we can trend it out. I think this is just going to get better and better and better for us in the long run. But again, it's all about you. So if you want me to keep doing it, drop it in the comments down below. If you think it sucks, tell me the same thing. I am good with that one way or the other. But I will say this. If you are into buying and selling Pokemon cards and a site as big as TCG Player, the number 2, buying and selling platform for Pokemon cards, is telling us what's in high demand and short supply, if you don't find that useful, I don't know what you will, because this stuff is super cool. So I'm going to read to you exactly what TCG Player said down there. They say, we have compiled a ranked list of Pokemon cards in high demand that are currently understocked on the TCG Player marketplace. They go on to say, we calculate the ranking by factoring market price, current inventory, and recent demand trends, yada, yada, yada. Basically, they're saying, listen, if you got these cards and you post them on TCG Marketplace, they are going to sell. Now, with all that being said, we do fun stuff like this all the time here on the PikaPikaPaPa channel. So hey, if you have not been a subscriber, we're building an amazing community. I would love it if you hit that subscribe button. Questions, comments, tell me if you like this, drop them down below. And as always, if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. With that being said, let's get into some of this really, really cool data. So what I did was I broke this down into thirds, a bottom third, a middle third, then we're gonna talk about the top 10. Now, just like in the last data set, there was a lot of noise in here, so I went ahead and cleaned it up. So there's not 50 cards here. I think there's about 46 cards in here. But the cool thing, now that we've seen this once and we get to look at it again, is I was able to add not just the rank, but last week's rank, and we can see where these cards have moved. Now, what jumped off the page at me were two things when I was looking at this kind of bottom third list right here. First off, the number of new cards on here. That was why I thought this video has value, because as we continue to see this more and more, if we start to see newer cards on here every single week, then that tells us that, hey, listen, people are filling these demands and they are buying, and because there's new demand for new cards all the time. And so when we see these cards that are flipping off the list, it means to me that it's really valuable, and we should be talking about this information all the time, because guess what? When the demand is there, it's filled, the supply buys it out, and this is telling me that there's all kinds of new cards on here. The other thing that was really exciting to me is there is 11 different sets out of these 13 cards on here, right? Look at it. Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames. Then you got Crown Zenith, Chilling Reign. You've got a Prize Pack Series card in here. You got a Black Star promo. You have all kinds of cool stuff on here. Look at the Reshiram and Zekrom, which popped up from Cosmic Eclipse. Like, how freaking crazy is that? The Charizard V, right? From Crown Zenith. Like, these are cards that when I saw these on this list, this really validated the fact that this is important and this is something that we should be talking about. Of course, you've got a couple returners on here. I just talked about the Black Star promo. That Lugia V is still on here. That Giratina V-Star. There are going to be some cards which just are in high demand for a long time. The thing about TCG Player is a lot of this are people who are enjoying the awesomeness of the actual TCG game itself. They are playing Pokemon. They're just not a collector, investor, schmuck like me. They're enjoying the game, and I love them for it. So there are some awesome cards on here. You got Water Energy, Super Rod. Like, this is a really cool list of cards. And for me as a collector and investor, when I'm ripping packs, it gives me an opportunity to understand, hey, I've seen a couple of these cards in my collection. I haven't listed them on TCG Player for one reason or another, or eBay, but when I see them in high demand, this is an awesome opportunity for me to know, hey, listen, if I want to turn them quickly, I can go ahead and list them. So this list is really cool. Love seeing all of the new cards on here. Now, In the middle right here, we see less new cards on here and a lot of returners on here, right? The thing that's cool on here too is look at all the Charizards from Obsidian Flames right here. 3 of those EX cards are on here. I thought that was really interesting. I'm going to keep a close eye on how long these Charizards and really any other Obsidian Flames cards remain on this list. This is our first exercise going through this since a new set launched, and I think it can give us some ideas to like how long is there going to be a lot of demand for the future sets, right? Paradox Rift. I think Pokemon 151 is just going to be a beast all in of itself, so I don't know if there's going to be any data trends which we can correlate to it, but anyways, it's going to be very exciting to watch this. And then Battle VIP Pass, you know, we've talked about that card. It's been out there for a long time, but look, it jumped to rank number 11 after last week. It was ranked number 37. The thing that I loved about this one too, again, another reason why I walked away from this second video and thought there's a lot of merit here. Look at the Starmie V from Astral Radiance, right? That's the one with Misty on it where they're sitting there and they're chilling. It's a trainer gallery card. Like, that is a awesome card. It has been hot, hot, hot. And to see it on this list and for a TCG player to say this $56 card that's been out for a long time in Astral Radiance, it is in such high demand, in such low supply. We need you to put it out there. Like, I think this is absolutely amazing. I also loved seeing that Lily 125A regional championship card on there. That was a card I didn't know a lot about, but when I saw it on this list, I did some digging into it. What a stunner of a card. What an awesome card. Like, that is why I love doing things like this. This is just such an eye-opening video on so many other levels. And of course, you got all kinds of playing cards in there. You got Jet Energy, you got Electric Generator. Like, this list applies to all kinds of people. So I thought this middle group was really, really cool and really, really telling on a bunch of different levels. Now, we got the top 10 here, and that Charizard EX from Obsidian Flames, guess what? It reigns supreme, is still up there. And then what did fall off was last time we saw that Iono Special Illustration Rare from Paldea Evolved. I was very excited about that. I told you all I was so excited to see that there was so much demand for it and so low supply for it. Then I went on and on and on. I talked about how much I love Paldea Evolved as a set. And then the second time we do this video, it has fallen off, but that's okay. It doesn't bother me one bit. I still think it's an epic card. And this is just one very small data point, but I do love seeing that Iono 185 out of 193, right? Like, I love seeing that card's on here. I love seeing that everybody's going after it. You know, obviously that's the cheapest version of all those Ionos, but the fact is that's a very playable card, so not surprised to see that up here. The Pidgey and Pidgeots continue to do well, right? Like, that is a beautiful card from that Obsidian Flame set. I think behind the Charizards, you know, this has the opportunity to do really, really well. It reminds me of that Magikarp card, right? Which is in Paldea Evolved, just a stunner of a card, and I think has the opportunity to perform really well. We still have that Team Magma and Team Aqua card on there. Listen, it's jumped all the way to number 5 from number 16. So I think that is really cool. You know, there's not a lot of cards of those out there probably, or at least they're probably in collection. So it's really interesting because TCG players saying, listen, last week we had it at number 16, now we have it at number 5. Please list this card. We need it. The demand is there. If you want to sell it, now is the time. And then I love seeing that Umbreon too, the Umbreon, the GameStop stamp promo. That was at 46 last week. In 2 weeks time, it's all the way up to number 8. Just an absolute crazy jump, almost from worst to first in a very short amount of time. And that's another reason why I think that there's a lot of value in doing these videos moving forward, because the demand and the supply can change in an instant, right? Now, we don't know if it's because the demand went up for this card. We don't know if it's because the supply went down. But either way, right now, that is a super hot card to get out there. I love the fact that that Tyranitar is getting up there right now, too. I think that is a very, very cool piece of cardboard. And the interesting thing for me was last week we saw 28 of the 38 cards were from Scarlet and Violet. And guess what? This week, not even close. Only 20 of the cards were actually from Scarlet and Violet. A lot of these cards are from other sets. And I think that there is a ton of value in that. And I am excited to continue using this data and using this information, at least for my personal buying and selling things. Again, one final request. Listen, if you've made it to the end and you like what we're doing here, hit that subscribe button. Questions or comments, and tell me if you like this. Drop it in the comments down below. And as always, if you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up. I hope you guys have an epic one, and I appreciate you more than you know. Talk to you later.